I still remember the smell of jet fuel and fresh cut grass. Every time my dad came home from deployment, the whole neighborhood would line up at the end of our cul-de-sac just to watch his camouflage truck pull in. Mom would cry, I'd sprint barefoot across the lawn, and my little brother would salute like the tiny soldier he already wanted to be. We were the perfect military family, or at least, that's what the framed photos on our walls wanted everyone to believe. My name is Lauren. Growing up on base after base, I learned early that home wasn't a place, it was the four of us. Dad was the hero with medals I couldn't pronounce. Mom kept everything spotless and smiling. And then there was Uncle Ryan, Dad's best friend since basic training. The man who showed up for every birthday, every promotion ceremony, every goodbye. He wasn't blood, but he was family. He taught me how to throw a football, how to change a tire, how to keep my chin up when orders came down and we had to move again. He was the constant when everything else felt temporary. People used to say, Ryan looked at my mom like she was the only light in the room. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was loyalty. I thought it was love, the safe, respectful kind. But what I didn't know, what no one told the little girl with the American flag backpack, was that some shadows wear dog tags and smile for the camera. It started with the little things I wasn't supposed to notice. A hand that lingered too long on Mom's lower back when they thought Dad was in the shower. Whispers behind the kitchen door that stopped the second I walked in. The way Mom's eyes would shine when Ryan's name popped up on her phone, brighter than when Dad's deployment calls finally came through. I was 15 when Dad got sent to the Middle East for 18 months. The longest stretch ever. Mom said we had to be strong for him. Uncle Ryan promised he'd take care of us while Dad was gone. And he did. Groceries appeared on the porch. The leaky faucet got fixed. He was there for every tear, every lonely night, every I miss your dad. He was there. Too much. One night I woke up thirsty and padded downstairs for water. The house was dark except for the blue glow of Mom's laptop on the kitchen table. It was open. She'd fallen asleep on the couch waiting for Dad's scheduled video call that never connected because of bad signal. The screen hadn't locked yet. There were hundreds of messages, thousands, years of them. I read until my stomach turned inside out. Love letters, photos I wish I could burn from my memory. Plans to leave Dad the moment he came home so we can finally be together. Ryan telling her she deserved better than a husband who was never around. Mom replying that she'd never loved anyone the way she loved him. My heroic Uncle Ryan. My flawless, suffering mom. They'd been lying to the man who trusted them with his life and to me for almost a decade. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I sat on the cold tile floor until sunrise, reading every word, letting the truth carve itself into my heart. When Mom woke up and saw me, her face went white. She knew, Lauren, baby, it's not what you think. But it was exactly what I thought. Worse. The next months were hell dressed up as normal life. I smiled for Dad's care packages. I saluted when Ryan came over for family dinner. I watched my mother paint on lipstick and pretend her marriage wasn't rotting from the inside. Every hug from her felt like poison. Every I love you, sweetheart from him made me want to disappear. Dad came home to a hero's welcome, flags, banners, tears. I hugged him so tight he laughed and said, I'd gotten strong. If only he knew the kind of strength I was building. I waited. I planned. I became the perfect daughter, straight A, volleyball team captain, youth group leader. Nobody suspected the quiet storm growing behind my eyes, because betrayal like that doesn't just break your heart, it teaches you exactly how to break theirs back. 2 weeks before Dad's retirement ceremony, the day he'd finally be home for goodbye, made my move. I'd saved every message, every photo, every voice note they were careless enough to leave on that laptop. I put them all on a single USB drive shaped like an American flag. The night before the big ceremony, our base threw a formal dinner for all retiring officers. The banquet hall was packed. Generals, old war buddies, families in dresses and dress blues. A giant screen hung behind the head table for the slideshow tribute to my dad's career. I volunteered to help with the tech. Nobody questioned the colonel's daughter. Halfway through desert, the lights dimmed for the video. Smiles everywhere. Pride thick in the air. Then the screen changed. Message after message. Photos. My mother's voice moaning Ryan's name. The room went dead silent, except for the audio they couldn't shut off fast enough. Dad's face. God, I'll never forget it. First, confusion, then recognition, then a pain so deep it aged him 10 years in 10 seconds. Ryan tried to stand, to run, but 2 MP's dad's own men were already moving. Boff Mom just sat there, lipstick smeared from crying, staring at me like I was a stranger. Security escorted them both out while the entire hall watched. Divorce papers were signed within the week. Ryan lost his clearance, his pension, everything. Mom moved 3 states away and hasn't spoken to me. Since that, Dad and I stayed on base until I graduated. Some nights he'd sit on the porch staring at nothing. I'd bring him coffee and sit beside him, quiet. One evening he finally asked, "Why didn't you tell me privately, Lauren?" I looked him in the eye and said, "Because you deserved to know the truth the same way the world saw you, as a hero who was betrayed by the people closest to him. They don't get to hide behind closed doors anymore, and you don't have to carry their shame." He cried then. We both did. Years later, people still talk about that night. Some call me cruel, some call me a monster, but I call it justice. Because the worst thing you can do to a liar isn't to expose them. It's to make sure the person they hurt the most is the one holding the light. I lost a mother that day, but I saved my father. And I learned that sometimes the strongest revenge isn't destruction, it's the moment they realize the little girl they taught to stand tall grew up tall enough to watch them fall. Be careful who you break. Sometimes we don't stay broken, sometimes we come back unbreakable.